Hello, everyone. So, if you wanted to find the perfect topic, the absolute perfect topic that has all the ingredients for the anxious mind to get you worked up, stressed, worrying, analyzing, thinking, and thinking, ruminating over, anticipating, it would be COVID. COVID has all the ingredients that the mind, the sensitized nervous system, and the mind needs to get involved in, to get all your symptoms going, the physiological symptoms, and all the thoughts activated. So I wanted to do a video on this because it's so relevant to all of us, given this global experience we had with it a number of years ago, which is still pervasive in our mind. So let's talk about the start of it. Let's talk about what happened when COVID came along, because if we do that, you can start to see how the sensitization process started to occur. When it first came, it was unknown. So we were told that there's this, grave physical threat to our health. It was all over the news. The fear started to ramp up. One by one, cities started to lock down. And so it was on the news every day. We were getting bombarded by interviews about it, news reports about it, radio, TV. And of course, it actually affected all of us. We had to change our habits in order to deal with it. So you can imagine being exposed to that stress, just hearing the words COVID, all the unknowns. We didn't know how deadly it was going to be. We didn't know if it was going to be mild. Was it going to be a flu? Was it going to be something more? And all this drastic action was being taken to prevent it. So when we're hearing all this, we're seeing it all, we're absorbing all that stress onto our nervous system. So even if you're not anxious, even if you're not sensitized, you probably would be you're going to be a lot more sensitized than you were pre-COVID, compared to after sort of COVID, or when the world went back to normal, so to speak. So all of us came out of COVID, the COVID experience, more sensitized. Perhaps we were sensitized anyway, and that just added to it. Because of all the stress, we were told this is a physical threat situation. And of course, what is anxiety? Anxiety is reacting to everyday thoughts, triggers, worries, as though there is a physical threat. But in the COVID case, we were told that we're effectively all at risk of dying. Now, we probably, came to terms with COVID, we realized that probably wasn't as bad as we originally thought, not to take anything away of what happened. And obviously, it affected a lot of people, but it wasn't quite what we had anticipated. Most people have COVID, most people got COVID, get COVID, still get COVID, and they don't have a problem with it. It's a minor discomfort. But of course, we didn't know that at the time, or at least that's not what we were told. And so we're bombarded with these. This is a threat. This is a threat. We have to lock down. We have to stop seeing each other. We can't, we've got to put all the hand sanitizers on. We've got to stay away from each other. We've got to be on alert in order to survive. So effectively, it was teaching you to activate your stress response, your flight, fight, fear response every time you hear the word COVID. And this was extended. We had to be like this through all the lockdowns, over and over for an extended period of time. We had to drastically change our behavior. And so that's why there is so much anxiety around COVID. There is so much stress because we were literally told to treat it as though it was a life and death situation. And so, of course, now that it's passed, and now that we're all told it's fine to get back to normal, it's a lot harder to do it because we've got all these neural pathways around COVID panic, COVID freaking out, COVID, gosh, I'm going to die. What if it's COVID? What if it gets worse? What if it's long COVID? And so even if we get sick occasionally, we get the flu, whether we get COVID and it's mild, now that we're already sensitized, plus this topic gives us even an added layer of sensitization because of the amount of time we've already spent thinking about it. It's normal that now, even in 2024, as I'm recording this, we're still going to react to it because we've got all those neural pathways that had plenty of time and exposure to thinking about it. We were actually told, unlike other things, to really panic about it over and over and over. We're watching news conferences day in and day out. So it was mimicking a high level physical threat situation. So it makes complete sense that now a lot of people are sensitized generally and have high anxiety around all sorts of triggers. So it's just added to the layer of sensitization that we're reacting. Our flight or fights, our hypervigilant state is already elevated. So we're all more prone to anxiety, you could argue. But specifically the COVID trigger itself, where again, we're extra primed to react to that. So if you start to get sick, some flu symptoms, some COVID symptoms, the mind is primed to go, what if it's COVID? What if it's more serious? If we don't recover as quickly as we would like, what if it's long COVID? But of course, with all this stuff, there's so much grey. There's so much that we don't know. There's a lot of guesswork. We go to the doctor and they're like, oh, you might have long COVID. It could just be the flu. It could just be that you're tired and run down with nervous system sensitization. We are tired. We're fatigued. And so it does take a bit longer to bounce back sometimes if we get a cold. And so the challenge with COVID is to treat it like any other anxiety symptom, knowing that we're going to be reactive to it. Every time we think about COVID, for some of us, we might get a release of adrenaline, stress hormone, cortisol, which is going to get us involved in it. What if I get it? What if I've got it now? What if I get it again? What if it gets worse? What if we have another pandemic? What if I've got long COVID and I never recover? What if I've damaged myself long term? And if you get a release in the nervous system because of sensitization, with any of those thoughts, and the heart races a little bit, the surge of adrenaline, the slow drip of adrenaline, or anything else, it's going to bluff you into taking those thoughts seriously. So we have to treat all thoughts, worries about COVID the same way. It doesn't mean if you're feeling really sick, you're really unwell, you don't go to the doctor. Of course we do that. But we practice with the anxieties around how we feel the same way. If we're generally okay, we've got minor symptoms, we just practice with the extreme thoughts about what if this gets worse the same way. We go loose, we allow, this is just adrenaline tricking me into getting overworked about this. I'm primed, my nervous system is sensitized, it's okay. Time to slow down, go loose, and just allow these thoughts, because again, we've all been primed to react. So it's okay if this one's a bit harder for some of you to put in the anxiety bucket, but at some point we absolutely need to do that. We need to put all the thoughts, worries about all the different tangents of COVID. What if we have another pandemic again? What if I can't cope? What if I've got long COVID? What if I get COVID again? What if I catch it when I touch this? What if I catch it when I do that? It played into all our tendencies to be paranoid about germs, because we were told to put masks on, not touch each other. And so it's normal that a lot of us have forgotten to trust our bodies. But we know that for most people who got COVID, absolutely fine. Most of us have probably had COVID and never really realised it. Maybe we got no symptoms, and we forget that aspect because we were primed. It was drilled into us to take it so seriously, and we were told it was a physical threat situation, and so we forget the counterbalance, the perspective around. Most people have had it and have no problem. Some people get sicker than others. Yes, that's the same with anything. That's the same with the flu. That's the same with other things. So we don't want to pretend it's not a real challenge for some people, but we don't want to give it any more credit than any other health issue that we encounter. Take the normal action that we would if we feel unwell, we don't recover, get an opinion, but practice with the anxieties, the exaggerated anxieties about it at the same time. So again, that's all about slowing down, calling it out for what it is. These are the COVID anxieties. I'm just going to practice with them the same way and give myself extra leeway, because I know that all of us have been primed to react even stronger perhaps with this one than others. So I just wanted to put that out there as an offering, because I know it's on a lot of your minds. If you're new to this channel, watch the Anxiety Cure video series, watch the floating guided practice to help you start to practice with all the anxieties around COVID the same way I recommend you do with all anxieties, because it's fueled by the same stuff. If you've got any questions, let me know. But I wish you all the best with it. And again, I hope to see you again sometime here soon. Take care.